What's up, guys? Welcome back to another podcast episode. It is your boy, Dr. Odell Miller. And in this podcast, I'm going to go over the reality of insurance-based clinics versus cash-based. So this is super important for all physical therapists, physical therapy students to know whether you own your clinic or whether you are an employee of someone else's. It is so important that you understand the difference between insurance and cash-based and the maximum that you will be able to earn as a doctor of physical therapy in either of those. So let's start with a little story. So when I was in physical therapy school, I was in the hospital. Well, every rotation I went on, I'm a curious person. I'm a business-minded person. So I was that guy in class that always asked questions. I would always ask questions if I didn't understand or if it didn't make sense. And oftentimes it would default into, I don't know, that's just the way it's always been done. So in my head, when I hear that's the way it's always been done, I'm like, why hasn't anyone challenged that? Or why are we just following a system that was created so long ago, expecting it for us to work today in today's society when we are a fast evolving, changing society? So starting with this story, so I was in, I think it was a hospital rotation, and my CI, I'll just create a fake name, I'll just say she. My CI, one day we were sitting there, she was going over my documentation for the day. I saw a patient, stuff like that, I'm a student. And I was just curious, like, hey, have you ever been curious about looking at how much you're billing for with insurance, like how much you get reimbursed for? And she's been working there for 7 years, mind you. She said, no, I never thought about that. I'm like, oh, do they like hide that from you? Or like, can you see it? She's like, yeah, all I have to do is click this button and it'll take you to the next screen, but I never go look at it. My mind was blown. I'm like, what do you mean? You never looked at how much they're making off of your time working with patients here? How could you ever expect to earn more or earn a higher salary if you don't even know what the capacity is of what you're bringing in for the clinic, for the hospital, for the business? So that blew my mind. And then, so with further research, we looked at it, and the average reimbursement was like $80, $85 for evaluation, like up to like $110, $115, never consistent. And you get your money back so late in insurance. Literally, as a student, I was like, there's zero possible way that I'm going to be able to open my own clinic and survive and make enough money by only getting reimbursed $80 to $100 for each session. We are doctors. If I wanted to make $80 per session, if I wanted to make, well, mind you, if you're working for someone and that's what they're making, they can't pay you that full 80. They have lights, they have overhead, they have other employees, they have support staff, they have all these other things, marketing, sales, all that type of stuff that goes into this $80 an hour as well. So what can they pay you? $35, $40, $45 an hour. Most physical therapists, maybe a little bit less than that. So that is your capacity of what you're able to get paid by someone paying you $80 for your session as a doctor. Tell me what other profession is getting $40 an hour as a doctor. If I wanted to earn $40 an hour or $35 an hour or $30 an hour, $25 an hour, whatever you're making, I would have chose a different path. Like, why would you, all that debt that we acquire in physical therapy school and you're getting paid $30 to $40 an hour, I'm not trying to like demean anyone or anything like that. I just want you to open your eyes to reality of what is going on that people are not talking about. I knew for a fact, like, I am not doing that. I can go start a media company and make more money than that. My DJ, I make more money doing that in my wedding DJ business, which if you guys have been listening or following for a while, you know that I have a wedding DJ business that I started in undergrad, which I was making 40 to 60K a year in undergrad. I could have just kept doing that. So I said, I am not going down that path. And then I started to do the math. And I was like, what would I feel good or happy about receiving for all of my knowledge, all of my time, all of my skills acquired over time to help literally fix the issue that patients are going through with pain and stuff like that. And then I came up with a number. I was like, I want to be able to charge like $300 to $400 a session eventually. And I started to do the math on that. I'm like, okay, if I charge $300 an hour for my physical therapy cash-based session for 45 minutes to 60 minutes, for another person to see that, if I was taking insurance, I would need to see 4 people at the same time. Then I was like, whoa, a light bulb just hit. Okay, so that is what I need to profit and to be able to have healthy margins in my business, is to charge $300 an hour. So I was like, oh, that's what physical therapy clinics need as well. But rather, they're accepting insurance, so they're getting $75 for their hour session. That's why they're seeing one physical therapist to 3 or 4 patients at a time and using text and aids. It's because they still have to make that to make a healthy business, but they're making it in a different way. And guess what? If you're a physical therapist and you're seeing 3 or 4 patients, what quality of care can that possibly be? Like, you can't possibly manage 3 or 4 patients at the same time and give quality care and then give exercises to a tech and then you watching over there and they're look over there and they don't know anything about the body. They don't know anatomy that well. They don't know why you're doing what you're doing. So that quality of care is not what the standard should be in physical therapy. So I wanted to have really good results. So I said, oh, I'm going to do a cash-based physical therapy practice where I can charge $300 a session. And guess what? It's been the best thing ever because not only am I able to give my all to that one patient and give them the quality of care that they deserve with no text, no one else that they're seeing besides their doctor of physical therapy. Also, I started seeing way faster results, not only because of the quality of care, but also because people who pay money, they're more bought into their care. People who invest actually financially into their care, they're more bought in. And guess what? It came out of their pocket, so they're going to be doing more. They're going to do what they're supposed to do at home. They're going to give it more rather than if they had a $10 copay. When's the last time you bought something for $10 and you really, really cherished it and wanted to take care of it and really do what you were supposed to do with that thing? Never. But if you buy an expensive car or something, what do? You take it to the car wash, you treat it like gold because of the price that you paid for it. It's the same with our bodies. So when you are going to a gym membership for $10 at Planet Fitness, I think the stats is like 70% of people who are at Planet Fitness paying $10 a month don't use it. But if you go to a luxury gym and they're paying $200 a month, guess what? Their numbers are inverted. On the opposite side, it's only like maybe 20% of people who aren't using it. Because why? They actually invested their resources into it and it's not seen as free as it is when they're taking insurance. So I think it's wrong for us to not help the patient. If there's something that you can do to help your patient get faster results and do faster results to make them more invested into care, do you think that you should do that? Yes. So that's why it should be more than justified for you to charge more for your sessions as a doctor of physical therapy. So for me, I only need to see one-on-one sessions and we require an investment from our patients, I like to word it like that, of $300 for 45 minutes to see us. And that gives them the best care that they can get. And guess what? We're not for everybody. And I'm totally fine with that. I only like to help people who like to help themselves, who are invested in their care so much that they're willing to spend their resources on it. Does that make sense? So if you're working in an insurance-based clinic, realize that you are maxed at what you can earn based on the simple fact of insurance reimbursement alone. So don't get mad at your boss. Don't get mad at anybody else about the salary that you're capped at, but rather get mad at yourself on accepting that. Get mad at the physical therapy profession as a whole for accepting that as reality. And guess what? Reimbursement rates continue to decline. They just got cut again by 9%. So why would I enter a system where the reimbursement rates continue to decrease and the tuition of physical therapy school continues to increase? Something's not right. So we might want to fix the broken system. That's why I came out of school and opened up my physical therapy clinic from day one. And I always said, if I fail, I'm going to fail publicly. I'm going to document it just as I'm doing right now. But I can always go get a job somewhere else. But what I don't want to do in 30 years is regret that I never took the opportunity or that I never even tried to do this. And guys, don't tell yourself, I get this a lot. I'm in a small town. They won't pay $300 for a session. I'm this, I'm that. Those are all excuses, guys. I am in a small town in Michigan, very small town, and people are paying it. The right people, you put your service out there and the right people will find you. That's it, plain and simple. And guess what? For me, I don't need to see 1,000 people and get burned out. The reimbursement rate in physical therapy is crazy high. That's because you're seeing so many patients and you're getting paid less than what you're worth. So I decided to do the opposite of both of those, see less patients and get paid way more than the average physical therapist. And you can as well. You just have to decide in yourself that you would not accept $40, $35 an hour as a doctor of physical therapy. So I hope that episode helped you a little bit, but that is the reality of insurance versus cash pay. And when I talked about at the beginning about having like a max on what you can earn, you see like the max on what you can earn in insurance-based clinic that you're working as an employee. And then you see the max that you can earn as a cash-based, there's no ceiling. If I wanted to decide that I wanted to see half the patients next week and start charging $400 or $500, I can do that. Can you do that in an insurance-based model? No, they're not going to pay you anything. So there's no cap of what you can do when you're cash-based. Then there's a cap when you can do when you're insurance. And the quality of care is 100 times better in a cash-based model than it is in the traditional model. And that's why the burnout rate for those in insurance clinics are much higher. So I hope that episode helped you guys a little bit. Please message me on Instagram if you have any questions. Make sure you go to YouTube, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at OdellMiller25, and then join my mentorship group if you're a physical therapist or a physical therapy student and you would like to learn more about this. And I give a step-by-step system of how exactly I open up my physical therapy clinic. So click the link below in the description, join the group, and I'll see you guys on the inside. Have the best day ever. Peace out.